Hello, my name is Ayesha Payne, and today I'll be doing a presentation on exploring the human and dog bond, the welfare concerns surrounding breeding, and proposing some solutions. In this presentation, I'll be touching on the history of dog domestication, the bond between humans and dogs, and addressing the welfare concerns surrounding breeding, and also proposing some solutions. The bond between humans and dogs transcends mere companionship, evolving into a complex, interdependent connection marked by mutual trust and affection and companionship, dating back approximately 20,000 to 40,000 years. The history of dog domestication represents a pivotal moment in human prehistory. Genetic studies suggest that dogs diverged from their wild ancestors, the grey wolf, through a combination of natural selection and human intervention, laying the foundation for the profound relationship witnessed today. Early humans encountered wolves scavenging around their settlements, initiating a tentative relationship built on mutual benefit, eventually leading to the integration of certain wolves into human societies. This transition from wild wolf to domestic dogs occurred concurrently in multiple regions, influenced by factors such as resource availability, environmental conditions, and human cultural practices. Throughout history, dogs have assumed diverse roles within human society, ranging from hunting companions to guardians of livestock and property. Ancient civilization engaged in selective breeding efforts to shape the morphology and behavior of dogs to fulfill specific functions, giving rise to the multitude of breeds observed today. The cultural significance of dogs is evident in historical artifacts such as clay tiles and artwork from ancient Egypt, highlighting their status as companions, guardians, and even dignitaries. Classical civilizations such as Greece and Rome further integrated dogs into societal roles, utilizing them in military campaigns and religious ceremonies, specialized tasks. The bond between humans and dogs possesses a unique ability to understand human emotions and respond empathetically, solidifying their status as cherished companions. Additionally, studies by Hillingdon demonstrate the physiological benefits of canine companionship, including reduced stress levels and improved overall well-being for their human counterparts. Through their unwavering loyalty and devotion, dogs have carved an irreplaceable role in human society, serving as confidants, protectors, and fast-head friends throughout history. Thus, the profound bond between humans and dogs stands as a testament to their remarkable capacity for the interspecies empathy and companionship, enriching the lives of both parties involved. However, alongside the rich history of dog and human relationship lies a concerning aspect: the welfare implications of dog breeding. The proliferation of dog breeding has risen significant welfare concerns stemming from commercialization and selective breeding practices in the industry. Furthermore, the overpopulation of dogs exacerbates welfare concerns, leading to the overcrowding shelters and euthanasia as a means of population control. Thus, whilst the bond between humans and dogs enriches the lives of both parties involved, the welfare of dogs must be prioritised and addressed to ensure harmonious and ethical relationship. In the United Kingdom, legislation surrounding dog breeding is limited to that of breeds deemed as dangerous by the Dangerous Dog Act of 1991, eliminating any regulations regarding dogs of any breed that does not fall underneath this act, leading to the dog breeds and breeding practices emerging as a significant welfare concern, prompting critical analysis and call for reform. Selective breeding, often driven by human preferences for certain physical characteristics or behavior, has led to the propaganda of hereditary disorders and congenital defects in specific breeds. This emphasis on aesthetics over health has resulted in breeds like bulldogs and pugs suffering from respiratory problems and heat intolerance due to their exaggerated bronchial features. Additionally, the demand for designer dogs and crossbreeds has fulfilled an unregulated breeding practice, contributing to the proliferation of puppy mills and backyard breeders where welfare standards are frequently disregarded. These facilities prioritize profit over health and welfare of breeding dogs and their offspring, subjecting them to overcrowded and unsanitary conditions, inadequate veterinary care, and limited socialization opportunities. The use of cesarean sections to facilitate breeding in certain breeds with narrow pelvic structures further underscores the extent of welfare compromise associated with extreme breeding practices. Commercialization of breeding has commodified dogs, perpetuating the notion of animals as mere commodities rather than sentient beings deserving of ethical consideration. Profit-driven breeding goals often overlook the long-term welfare implications for both breeding dogs and their offspring, perpetuating a cycle of suffering and exploitation within the industry. Moreover, the overpopulation of dogs exacerbates welfare concerns as overcrowded shelters struggle to accommodate the influx of unwanted and abandoned animals, leading to the euthanization as a means of population control. The failure to address these welfare concerns comprehensively not only proliferates animal suffering, but also reflects systematic inadequacy in regulatory frameworks and enforcement mechanisms. Considering these challenges, there is a pressing need for regulatory reform and ethical breeding practices aimed to prioritize the health, temperament, and overall well-being of dogs over commercial interests. Legislation plays a crucial role in addressing these welfare concerns, yet existing laws such as the Animal Welfare Act of 2006 often fall short in effectively safeguarding the welfare of breeding dogs and their offspring. The rise of puppy farming and legal breeding practice highlights the inadequacy of current regulatory frameworks and the refinement of enforcement to enforce welfare and well-being of sentient beings. Furthermore, breed-specific legislation such as the Dangerous Dog Act of 1991 has significant implications for dog welfare, perpetuating misconceptions about breed-related aggression, fostering fear and mistrust towards certain breeds. Addressing these welfare concerns requires a multitude approach, encompassing legislative reforms, public education initiatives, and responsible ownership practice to promote ethical treatment of dogs and uphold their fundamental rights as sentient beings within society. One solution to address this concern is a legislative reform to prioritise canine welfare. Addressing the welfare concerns surrounding dog breeding is essential for legislative reforms that prioritise the well-being of dogs over commercial interests. Instead of focusing solely on breed-specific legislation, comprehensive legislation should encompass borders welfare consideration. By implementing regulations that emphasise responsible breeding practices, including health screening, genetic testing, and standards for housing and care, we can mitigate the prevalence of hereditary disorders and congenital defects in breeding dogs and their offspring. Legislative efforts should also include the provision of oversight of commercial breeding operations to prevent the exploitation and mistreatment of animals. Through these reforms, we can promote ethical breeding practices and uphold the fundamental rights of dogs as sentient beings. Another solution is enhanced enforcement and monitoring mechanisms. Strengthening enforcement and monitoring mechanisms is vital to addressing the welfare concerns associated with dog breeding. This entails allocating sufficient resources to regulatory agencies tasked with overseeing breeding facilities and enforcing welfare standards. By conducting regular inspections, audits, and investigations, authorities can identify and address instances of animal cruelty, neglect, and substandard breeding practices. Moreover, implementing transparent reporting requirements and public access to inspection records fosters accountability and encourages compliance with welfare regulations. Collaboration efforts between law enforcement, animal welfare organisations, and community stakeholders are essential to ensure effective enforcement and monitoring of breeding operations. Through these measures, we can mitigate the suffering and exploitation of breeding dogs and promote the humane treatment of all animals involved in the commercialised breeding industry. Another solution is public education awareness campaigns. Public education and awareness campaigns play a vital role in addressing the welfare concerns surrounding breeding dogs by fostering informed decision making and promoting responsible pet ownership practices. These campaigns should aim to educate prospective dog owners about the importance of selecting a reputable breeders who prioritize the health and welfare of their animals, providing guidance on identifying signs of unethical breeding practices such as overcrowded or unsanitary conditions. This can empower individuals to make ethical choices about acquiring a pet. Additionally, raising awareness about the consequences of supporting puppy mills and backyard breeders encourages consumers to seek an alternative source for acquiring a companion animals, such as adoption from shelters or a reputable rescue organization. By promoting a culture of compassion and ethical responsibility towards animals, public education initiatives contribute to the long-term welfare and well-being of dogs in society. In conclusion, in the vast tapestry of human history, the enduring bond between humans and dogs stands as a testament to the remarkable connection forged over millennia. Dogs, from their earliest domestication to their diverse roles in modern society, have become integral to human civilization. However, this rich history is marred by the significant welfare concerns stemmed from commercialization and selective breeding practices. The United Kingdom faces pronounced challenges with breeding practices prioritizing aesthetics over health, leading to a widespread hereditary disorder and exploitation. The interplay between humans and dogs throughout history underscores the profound responsibility we bear towards their welfare. As stewards of their well-being, it is imperative that we address the welfare concerns comprehensively and proactively. The legislation reforms are pivotal to this endeavour, and the re-evaluation of existing laws and implementation of new regulations to ensure that breeding practices prioritize the health and welfare of animals above all else. Revisiting breed-specific legislation such as the Dangerous Dog Act of 1991 offers an opportunity to rectify misconceptions and foster a more understanding of canine behaviour and welfare needs. Moreover, enforcement mechanisms is essential to holding breeders and establishments accountable for their actions. Strengthened oversight and inspection protocols can help mitigate welfare risks associated with the unscrupulous breeding practices and ensure compliance with welfare standards across the board. Additionally, public education initiatives play a crucial role in fostering a culture of responsible pet ownership and critical and ethical decision making. By empowering individuals with knowledge about the welfare implications of dog breeding and the importance of supporting reputable breeders, we can affect meaningful change at the grassroots levels. Ethical breeding practice rooted in scientific evidence and compassion are fundamental to preserving the integrity of human and dog bond by prioritizing their health, temperament, and overall well-being of dogs over the commercial interests. We reaffirm our commitment to ethical stewardship and ensure a harmonious coexistence with our canine companions. This dedication not only honours a profound bond forged between humans and dogs, but also serves as a beacon for hope for future generations where dogs are valued, respected, and cherished as sentient beings deserving of care and love. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation in regards to the welfare concerns surrounding dog breeding. Hopefully this will help raise these concerns and gave you more insight into the ongoing concerns around dog breeding and helpfully assist towards the reform of breeding.